Hello everyone, welcome back in another video. In today's video, we are going to see functional programming. So basically, there are different types of programmings are there, like procedure programming, object-oriented programming, functional programming, then structure programming, and logical programming. These are different kind of programmings are there. So we can understand all those programming and difference between all those programming one by one. So firstly, we are take a very good idea. The first programming, that is a procedure programming. So in a procedure programming, all we know the C language. So C is a procedural programming. That programming which are working on a some specified processes. That means within that language, the standard procedure can be followed for the programming. So there is some disadvantage of a C, because we are not able to do a complicated programming or a lengthy programming within a C, because there is a complexity of a coding for within a C. But one of the advantage of C is that it gives a return or gives a output faster as compared to the other object-oriented programming languages. So that is the process-oriented program. That is the process-oriented programming language. And then next is a object-oriented programming language. All we know, the object-oriented programming language means that the language which are based on objects. That means that language, that programming language can consist the classes, interfaces, object, and methods. So there are some of the object-oriented programming languages like Java, CBP are there. So within that programming language, we have to create a class, and within that class, we are writing a method, and within that method, we are giving some functions. So that time, the advantage of our object-oriented programming language is that we have to create a object once, and we are using that object again and again. That's why the main advantage is that the consumption of memory should be less as compared to the other programming language. Due to creation of object, we are easily access the code. That means we are achieving the one dry concept are there. That means do not repeat yourself. That means we are using code again and again repeatable, which we are written previously by using the object calling. So that is the object oriented programming language. Then next third one is that a functional programming language. So functional programming language is not a any kind of different language. The difference between the functional programming and object oriented programming language is that within object oriented, we are writing a function within the method, but in functional programming, there is not any kind of a method is present. We are writing directly function with a function within a function. So functional oriented programming are like Python or C Sharp and Java JavaScript. So and also TypeScript are there, because TypeScript is next version of JavaScript. We can understand the functional programming by one example. Suppose we are writing a code within a Python. So that time we do the function for a division. So that time we are use a proper function for the within a Python, that is div. So we can simply write that the method name, that is the we are actually not that is the method. We are doing a mathematical calculation within the functional programming. It is based on mathematical calculations. So that time we are writing as the method that function for a div, and that within that parenthesis we are passing the I and j, and after that we are calling that function by using a take example by suppose we take a another variable as a result, that is the int result is equal to div, and within that parenthesis we passing the value. We are passing a value 5 and 2. So we get instant output as a 2.5 in our integer variable. So that is the fastest process, and within that process the bugs are minimum. That means the chances of error and the chances of mistakes are less as compared to the other languages. That is the main purpose of using a functional programming. So that is the overall about the functional programming. Thank you.